ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
Our text line this hour is open 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Welcome into today's edition of The Drive for this Friday, May 3rd. I'm your host, Paul Swann. We made it. We got to the weekend. Hopefully weather holds out and we'll have plenty of opportunity to watch some baseball this weekend. We got a baseball series coming up tonight at the Jack. Marshall taking on Georgia State. The Panthers are in town. That game is going to be 6 o'clock tonight over at Jack Cook Field. And the reason I mention that now, because tomorrow we've got the game. It's our showcase game, Marshall and Georgia State, coming up tomorrow at 2:50 p.m. That's our airtime right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So we got baseball this weekend. Softball's on the road. Got a lot to get into. So how's everyone doing as we get set for the weekend? There's some more transfer portal news. We're going to get into that. But basketball seems to be picking up some steam for the men. So congratulations there. We'll get more into that. Think about, when we get into it, think about how the transfer portal has worked so far for Marshall basketball. Rate the portal for me. What do you think Coach Cornelius Jackson's been doing? How do you feel about where he's at so far? Because the other day we get the word that Michael Dawson signing with the Thundering Herd coming out of the transfer portal. Transfers out of Akron. And so he comes in and he's got a connection there. Huntington High player, right? Got that Huntington prep connection as well. So how we feel about that now on top of the news today that Thundering Herd picking up a couple of twins from Grace College in Indiana. Cade and Jacob Gibbs. So we'll get into that and what they mean for the Thundering Herd. And then how do you feel about what the Herd's been able to do in the basketball side of things? Now, football, of course, that's going to be an ongoing story. So really can't rate that. It's harder to rate football than it is basketball, I think. Basketball, you kind of get a better sense. You don't have that much of a roster compared to football. Not that much in and out. You don't see that much in and out with basketball the way you do with football, or at least not at this point. So how is basketball doing in your eyes? We'll open up the text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Following the transfer portal, the last three that I saw was Jason Harris. He's entered the portal. Lloyd Willis, he entered the portal. Barrett Maddox entered the portal. And, of course, the Herd picking up J.J. Hawkins from Colorado. So some moves there on the football side of things. But as I mentioned, we got a busy weekend coming up. We'll start with baseball in action tonight, taking on Georgia State, the Panthers. Marshall coming into this one 13-31. They're 6-5 in Sun Belt. Could be better. Could be better. That's fair to say. Georgia State, not bad, but a little bit better than the Thundering Herd. They're 22-24 right now. They're 10-11. So if they can win this series, the best they can do is, the worst they can do if they win this series would have a tie 24 apiece, wins and losses. They would be winning percentage. That would go up in the Sun Belt. Marshall, desperately needing to find some momentum here as 13-31. You hate to see the Herd sink down even further, but 13-31, 6-15 in the Sun Belt. Been a tough go for the Herd so far, and there have been some times where the Herd's been competitive, and other times just depth has shown up as Marshall has not had much depth. So this is, I think, an important series. Marshall's been fairly decent at home. Is that fair to say? I know you factor in a few games. You beat West Virginia at home, and you lose to Morehead State at home and EKU at home. So scratch your head on that one. Of course, softball's in action on the road. They're at Texas State. They yesterday lost 5-1. The team lost 5-1. So they're in action today at 7 o'clock and then tomorrow at 1 p.m. Marshall on the season now stands at 24-25. They're 10-12 in Sun Belt play. Texas State receiving votes, they're good. 5-1, I'll take that. That's not bad, especially against a Texas State team that's receiving votes. They're 40-13 overall. They're 16-6 in league play. Sun Belt's tough. Give the league some credit. The league is tough. And Marshall is okay. 5-1. Wasn't it mercy? The Herd didn't get mercied. I mean, that's That's something I look for now. It's like, okay, how they do. Were they competitive enough? Because there have been a couple of times where, the games have had to end after the mercy rule was applied. Hopefully we don't see that. But 5-1 loss yesterday. Action tonight, 7 o'clock. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock. So softball is at Texas State, trying to get themselves in a better position here with the overall rankings. Baseball yesterday, Astros beating the Guardians 8-2. Today, the Guardians are in action against the Angels. That's coming up tonight at 7:10. Angels coming into this one 11-20. Cleveland now 20-11. Baltimore taking on Cincinnati tonight at 6:10 p.m. Baltimore's coming into this one 20-11. Cincinnati is 16-15. And Colorado in action taking on your Pittsburgh Pirates. Colorado 7-24. Ouch. Pirates are 14-18. We go in the air 6:15 tonight right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So baseball action for you tonight. And, of course, we'll have the Marshall game for you on Saturday with a 2:50 airtime. NBA yesterday. How many people have been following this? I was keeping a little bit more of an eye on the New York series. New York beating Philadelphia 118-115. So the Knicks in Game 6 clinched the series against the 76ers, winning that one 4-2, while Indiana gets the win over Milwaukee 120-98, and Indiana wins its series in Game 6 4-2. We've got a couple of clinching possibilities tonight as well. First round East action, Game 6 tonight. Cleveland taking on Orlando. Cleveland leading the series there 3-2. And then on the West, we've got the Clippers taking on Dallas. LA and Dallas. Dallas can clinch this one tonight, leading the series 3-2. We've got hockey action, and I'm sorry, I will die on this hill, and I will fight you for it. Game 7 is the best in the National Hockey League. Game 7 might be something fun to watch in the NBA, but Game 7 in a National Hockey League series is the best. We're going to have that tomorrow. Toronto taking on Boston. That series all tied up at 3 games apiece. But tonight, we've got a couple games that might go 7. Depends. Vancouver is at Nashville tonight. Vancouver leading that series 3-2. And then Dallas is at Vegas tonight. Dallas leading that series 3-2. So Dallas and Vancouver could possibly clinch tonight. And then on Sunday, we've got second-round action already with the Rangers taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. I know there are a lot of Hurricanes fans around here. And that's going to be a 4 o'clock game on Sunday. So we've got more playoff action going on. And we got plenty of baseball action coming up this weekend right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So let's dive into this basketball transfer portal a little bit more. Marshall picking up a couple more players today. We'll get your thoughts on them. How do you feel that Coach Cornelius Jackson's doing in the transfer portal? Is he addressing the needs, you think? There's still to come more, I'm sure. But right now, as it stands, partial grade. This isn't a final grade, but partial grade. How's the Herd doing in the basketball transfer portal? We'll get those texts in 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Hope everyone's having a great Friday, and thanks for being a part of today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Looking for a secure savings account? Come to Desco Federal Credit Union and explore our latest offers. With great rates and top-of-the-line personnel, Desco insures your money for at least $1 million. Relax and put your money where you know it's safe and growing. Desco Federal Credit Union is located at 1211 Carter Avenue and other locations in Ohio and West Virginia. Stop in or go online. An account at Desco is just what you need. DescoFCU.org.
Summer is right around the corner. Are you ready to shed those extra pounds and finally feel confident in your bikini? Call Bluegrass Strip today. With our customized weight loss program featuring semaglutide, you can achieve your weight loss goals faster than ever before while improving your overall health. Join the hundreds of satisfied patients who have already lost thousands of pounds with us. Say goodbye to excess weight and hello to a happier, healthier you. Start your journey to a summer-ready body today with Bluegrass Strip. Find us on Facebook at Bluegrass DRYP.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you one of the nearly 10 million families that own a timeshare? Unfortunately, many families stuck in timeshares have learned the dark side of ownership, as their timeshare ends up being nothing like they were promised. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. If you were lied to when buying a timeshare, you're going to need help. I know this because I once worked as a timeshare salesman, but quit the business and made it my personal mission to help folks get rid of bad timeshares. That's why I put together a timeshare exit information kit to help you understand how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Over 30,000 families have trusted us to get rid of their timeshares. Many started out by simply calling us for the free information kit and are now timeshare free.
To get your free information kit, call Wesley Financial now. 800-814-1500. That's 800-814-1500. 800-814-1500.
Imagine having all the money you need for retirement, all the income, every month, guaranteed. That's Secure Future Investor, an indexed annuity tied to growth in the stock market, but without any risk of loss ever. It's guaranteed money for life income, no matter how long you live. Call 888-509-2228. 888-509-2228. Sponsored by GP Agency, Inc., Raleigh, North Carolina. Licensed in all states. Performance may vary. Consult with your financial professional before making an investment decision.
In the tapestry of life, we encounter stories of legacy and accomplishment, but sometimes also abuse, neglect, or financial exploitation. Adult Protective Services understands the importance of safeguarding the well-being of our loved ones, our neighbors, and our community. To report neglect or abuse, call 800-352-6513. Sponsored by the Administration for Community Living, West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources, Bureau of Social Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station. This project was supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $383,493, with 75% funded by ACL, HHS, and 25% in the amount of $85,236 funded by state government sources. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Giovanni's Pizza. Fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
When I grow up, I want to be a baseball player. I would be the pitcher because they get to do something all the time.
If your child is sick over and over again, it could be PI, a defect in the immune system that affects millions. Early detection can give children a chance to dream. Jeffrey Modell Foundation, 25 years of helping children reach for their dreams. Visit us at info4pi.org or call 1-866-INFO4PI.
People think saving money is hard, but really, it's easy. It's as simple as changing a few spending habits. For free tips on how to save the easy way, check out feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
Our talk line is open, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's your number to get your text in this hour. Welcome back to The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Busy day as far as basketball is concerned. Now, let's preface this by saying this is an incomplete report card that we're asking for. Where do you think Marshall stands right now with its basketball transfer portal recruiting? First up, we found out Marshall was picking up a familiar name to a lot of people around these parts, Michael Dawson. Spending some time in Akron, he's coming home. Former Huntington basketball standout, now back at Marshall. Today, we find out that the Herd picking up Cade and Jacob Gibbs. Now, where are they from? They're actually from Grace College in Indiana. And Grace College made a championship run in the NAIA during the 23-24 season. They had a 34-2 record. Jacob averaged almost 14 points a contest, over 3 rebounds a game, and he was able to contribute a couple assists per game as well last season. Jacob shot 52.2% from the field and 37.3% from the three-point line. And he was the 2023-24 Crossroads League Defensive Player of the Year. You're getting someone with a little defensive background. You're getting someone that shoots over 50%, averages double digits. He can chip in a couple of times on the rebounding. Also, able to find the open man a few times. So that's what Jacob looks like on paper. Cade averaging over 13 points a contest as well. And he's a little bit better of a rebounder statistically, almost 5 rebounds a contest. And he's managing almost 1.5 assists per game. He shot better than his twin, 53.3% from the field and 33% from the three-point line. So he's a better shooter from the field overall. Jacob's a better three-point shooter. And they've already graduated from Grace College with their MBA, and they're coming to Huntington. So they're on the roster now. How do you evaluate this? Just on paper. Again, partial rankings only here. We're not giving out final grades. How do you rank what Marshall has been able to put together so far in the transfer portal? Do you like it? Are you on board with it? You need a little bit more time. Is it an incomplete? Obviously, it's an incomplete, but we're giving a partial grade today based on what you've seen so far. Michael Dawson and now Cade and Jacob Gibbs. And I think it's smart. First of all, you're going after some proven winners in the NAIA level. Okay, makes perfect sense. You're getting kids that are coming in. They've had some success at a high level at the NAIA. They want to translate that over to Division I now. So they are well aware of what it takes to win. You don't stumble into a 34-2 record at any level. I don't care. You just don't do it. So they bring in some instant offense. They bring in some defense as well. What's missing for you from the Thundering Herd? What does Marshall need now? And where would you rank this? 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That is our text line to be a part of today's edition of the show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Now, did you expect Marshall to go into the NAIA ranks? Would you like Marshall to go into maybe you dip down a little bit? You dip down a little bit and you find some quality players, but would you have liked to see Marshall maybe go higher level, try to get some really good talent that's coming out of like programs or maybe even higher level programs that are just not happy with their situation? What would you like to have seen the Thundering Herd do when it comes to filling out this roster? And again, that goes all part of the grade, and you can do that at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter writes in and says, I like it, but nothing feels like a wow pick just yet. Thanks for that text. I appreciate it. I don't know if you need to have a wow pick. I don't know if you have to have something that just absolutely sizzles when you bring someone in from the transfer portal. Yeah, are you looking for that just sizzling moment where, wow? Or do you look at it and go, okay, hey, this is pretty good. This fills some needs. There's an opportunity here to get better. And so you bring them in and hope that they can bring something with them and get this program going again. That's what you're hoping for. You bring in some experience. You bring in players that have won, that have competed for championships. I think you're looking for that type of player. It's not necessarily you've played against high-level Division I opponents. It's you've played at a high level in your division, and that should be able to translate into success. That's what you're looking for, right? Right? I mean, they did get their team to the NAIA Fab 4, right? That's something. That means something. I think it means something. Now, what's Marshall still missing, though? What do you want to see when it comes down to next couple of picks from the transfer portal? You know, what's Marshall definitely need to address now? What does Marshall need to go after? 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's our number to be a part of today's edition of the show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. And, of course, you know, that's not the only thing going on. Of course, we knew that some of the Marshall women's basketball players were going to stick around, and Aislinn Hayes makes it official yesterday on social media And so Marshall losing not that much now to the transfer portal. And I'm pretty excited about that. Lots of moves being made with women's basketball. And then you're keeping some of your core players, and you have the ability to bring in some of your own as well, as we know what the transfer portal is all about. So some good stuff being made there. I know it's still early as far as women's basketball is concerned. You're still putting together a staff. You're almost starting from scratch. At least you have some transition from Dan to Cornelius. With Marshall, you're going from Kim Caldwell to Julie Folk. She's bringing in her own staff and trying to retain players at the same time, bring players in. And so far, so good. So, again, it's incomplete. You can't give a final grade, but I think right now she's at an A. I'm willing to go A right now just because the fact that you were able to retain more players than not from a team that was able to win the regular season and tournament championship. So half the battle right there. You retained a strong core of your team. We'll get more into that when we continue. Get your text in, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. More coming up on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, all dinners served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Are you looking for furniture, electronics, appliances, or computers? Maybe you're looking for something special like jewelry, lawnmowers, gun safes, grills, or kayaks. What if I told you you could find all of that in one place? Because you can, at Aaron's. Aaron's has almost anything. If it makes your room complete, if it improves your life, if it upgrades your hobby, or if it makes you smile, you'll find it at Aaron's, and you'll find it at an affordable price. Shop Aaron's today at 2626 Fifth Avenue in Huntington and 3050 Walnut Street in Portsmouth. You'll find it all at Aaron's.
Sunflower Seeds will host an I Run Walk for Ukraine 5K Saturday, May 18th at Ritter Park. It starts at 9 o'clock. Visit tristateracer.com to register. T-shirts, canvas bags, and other items, part of the $25 pre-registration fee. Sunflower Seeds Incorporated is a tri-state area nonprofit established to raise awareness and resources for humanitarian aid to Ukrainian refugees. 17 million Ukrainians are in need of aid, and most of the refugees are women and children who want to remain near their Ukrainian homeland. To date, Sunflower Seeds has raised $40,000 and over 13,000 pounds of food and medical supplies have been delivered across 6 trips to Poland and beyond. Again, to be part of this I Run Walk for Ukraine 5K May 18th at Ritter Park at 9 o'clock, visit tristateracer.com to register.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
What's up?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay, Squirrel! Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The Forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
As a prospective college student, one way you can save money on higher education is to earn college credit while you're still in high school. You can save hundreds, even thousands of dollars by taking dual credit courses, which let you earn high school credit and college credit at the same time. Want to learn more about dual credit courses? Visit the website of the Kentucky Higher Education Assistance Authority at kheaa.com. That's kheaa.com.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Welcome back to today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Let's go back to our text line. Texter wants to know, what are the Twins' size? We're talking about, of course, Marshall signing a couple of players today on the basketball side, Cade and Jacob Gibbs, to the 24-25 roster. They are signees from Grace College in Indiana. So Cade's 6'6", and Jacob is 6'5". Cade's listed as a forward. Jacob is a shooting guard. So that's where we're at right now with their positions. As far as how many openings, I don't think I know just yet, only because, well, we don't know what the transfer portal is going to look like for a couple more days, because it takes a couple of days for final commitments to filter in if you picked up anyone. Now, keep in mind, if someone wanted to enter the transfer portal, they had until the end of the first. And that doesn't mean that we saw them happen today. So we should see more from the portal here soon as far as players that have left, players that are going to come in. We're going to maybe see a little longer on that as their recruiting continues. But as far as the portal itself, getting your name in for this cycle, that's closed. But you still have a 48-hour window before players will be able to fully get processed. So if you contacted a coach and said, hey, or made someone aware that you wanted to enter the transfer portal, if you initiated that conversation and you did it before the deadline, then you got that period for paperwork to get in. That makes sense to you? I hope it does. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So Thundering Herd under Cornelius Jackson. We got three now. Michael Dawson, Cade, and Jacob Gibbs. What do we need now? What, we need a point guard? Because Jacob's a shooting guard. Need a point guard, need a floor general. Is that what we're looking for now? And how do you rate this so far? Incomplete? Are you going to give it an incomplete or are you going to give it a partial? That's our text line question. What's the grade so far for Marshall basketball? Incomplete, or do you want to give me a partial? And you can change the partial at any time. It's not the final grade, but if you want to give Coach Jackson sort of an idea of where he's at as far as you're concerned, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's going to be our text line today here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. And, of course, with that said, women's basketball, everything's been looking pretty good so far there. Marshall's been doing all right. So Meredith Mayer, Aisla Hayes, they have taken their names out of the portal. So the Hayes sisters are out of the portal, and they're back with Marshall. They're not going anywhere. Meredith Mayer, she's sticking around as well. And then, of course, the women picking up Casey Ingram. She is a Cincinnati native. She goes to basically Kings Island High School. That's how it was initially described to me. It's like, you know where that's at. That's the high school right near Kings Island. It's basically Kings Island High School. It's Kings High School. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. So picking up some assistants to fill out the staff. First of all, picking up Stephanie Gelhausen. Also picking up Sasha Santamano and Makasa Robinson. So those are the three additions to Coach Julie Falk's staff. We'll get to know more about them here in the next couple of weeks for sure. But we should be finding out a little bit more as far as if there are going to be any more, at least players from football and basketball getting in the portal. If not, I think all we're going to have to do now is just wait and see what Marshall's able to do as far as picking up players and bringing players to both the football and basketball side of things. Feels good. I mean, we were quiet for a while with the transfer portal, basketball, and then all of a sudden, here we go. Exactly. Here we go. And I think you got a good core here because you have Nate Martin. So Nate Martin's on your roster as of right now, and you got Obina and Achille Killen. So right there, I'm starting off with Nate Martin, Obina, and Achille Killen. Those are my two. Those are the two I'm building off of. Right now, it's Fricks, it's Braun, it's Thieneman, it's Nutter, it's Obina, it's Pruitt, and it's Martin. That's it. That's what your roster going into this looked like. Unless I've missed somebody, that's your roster right now. And the fact that Obina and Nate Martin are staying, that's the good thing. That's exactly the good thing here is I can build off of that. I can build with Obina. I can build with Nate Martin. I think Nate Martin was one of the better portal pickups in a long time for Marshall basketball. I know we haven't been doing this long, but Nate Martin was definitely a good pickup for the Thundering Herd when it came to the portal. I can work with this. Now, of course, I wasn't offered the job, so we'll never know, but I could work with this. I could build off of this, especially with Nate Martin and Obina there. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. More coming up, including your text on today's edition of the show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hey, let's talk about your favorite day. You'd probably say Christmas Day or maybe New Year's Day. Well, I'm here to make a pitch for Monday. That's right, I said Monday at Roosters at Pullman Square in Huntington, because on Mondays at Roosters, you can get 79-cent boneless wings. Or maybe Tuesday, when you can get the $3 featured appetizer of the week and 99-cent kids meals. Actually, let's talk about Thursday with a late happy hour featuring $1 wings. Enjoy your favorite day or days with over 40 TVs. Roosters, Pullman Square in Huntington, a fun casual joint.
Renovate that old kitchen? Put a nice redwood deck out back. Add an extra room? Maybe even add to the family room with that pool table or 4K Ultra HD TV you've been wanting. Improving your home can enhance its value and improve the quality of your life. See us about a home improvement loan. We're an equal housing lender. Ohio Valley Bank. Community first. Member FDIC.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy you happiness, but money did help you buy an RV, which means an excuse from working Saturday with your insufferable coworker, Dave. So money is helping you listen to birds chirp instead of Dave chirping about how his toddler is fluent in 3 languages. And it's also why you'll be smelling pine trees in the air, not Dave's tuna melt reheating in a microwave. So save money by bundling your RV or boat insurance with home or auto from Progressive and buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
What's up?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay, Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The Forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hey, is that a faucet running? Nope, that's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. It is? Yeah, forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink. The water comes straight from the forest to us. In fact...
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
How do trees clean the air?
They soak up the dirty air on their leaves, branches, and trunks, which means clean air for us.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Yep, but the forest does more than give us clean air and water. It gives us shade for hot days, birds to listen to, and trees to climb.
Wow, that's awesome. I didn't know how cool the forest could be. Hey, let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Final segment of today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Still plenty of time for you at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Let's go back to the text line. Texter writes in and says, Paul, I'm scratching my head over these NAIA transfers. I mean, no disrespect to them, but are they really going to make a splash at this level? It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight, you know. Sure, they might have done well where they were, but this is a whole different ball game. I'm just not feeling the upgrade here. What do you think? I think there's talent at every level. I think you're looking for talent. I don't know if you can base it on where they play. I think you're going to have to base it more on how they play. To be fair, we haven't even seen them play with Thundering Herd yet, so I think it's not fair to say that, well, could they compete here at Marshall? Then again, Texter, you might be right. Maybe you're not bringing in someone who is going to make an immediate impact here. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter writes in and says they agree with the other person that just texted in. They said that, seriously, NAIA transfers? Are we supposed to get hyped about that? 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I appreciate the text there. So far, a couple of people writing in and saying, not feeling it just because it's NAIA. So that goes back to my question. You think this is a good pickup in disguise, or would you have liked to see Marshall maybe be a little bit more aggressive towards players that are in the transfer portal that are from higher level known programs? When you make a run at the championship at your level, you did something right. And look, you hired a coach from Division II. What'd she do? She brought you a regular season and Sun Belt Conference tournament championship, and now she's the head coach at Tennessee, and it's like, oh, okay, you can win at Marshall. And now you bring in another highly successful coach, this time at the Division III level, very similar resume to Kim Caldwell and Julie Folks, and you're hoping and excited that, okay, maybe she can do this as well. I mean, I don't think too many people were upset that Marshall hired a Division II coach. Raise your hand if you were. I don't think a lot of people were upset that Marshall made the hire to hire an up-and-coming prominent coach at the Division II level. And I don't think anyone's upset now with Marshall hiring a prominent coach at the Division III level. So what's the difference here? You're bringing in highly regarded players from the NAIA level that have competed at a high level in NAIA. So what's the problem here? Or am I overrating these guys? I mean, we haven't seen them play with the team just yet. So am I overrating these guys, thinking, okay, this is not bad. Little out of the box. Marshall going a different direction to pick up some players, trying to firm up the team. Look, you get 5 or 6 good guys, I think you're going to be able to compete. I mean, basketball, that's going to be the challenge, is reloading this, because also keep this in mind. Are they short-term players because they're going to have 1 year? And then your core players, Nate Martin, Obina, you got a year out of them. So I think you're building something quickly now to get going, and then you're going to have to build off of that. It's not year one that I'm more interested in. It's year 2 and year 3 that I'm definitely more concerned about, interested in, to see where this team goes, because you got to put something together now. You got to build a core, and you're going to have to look ahead a little bit. You want to win now, but with the transfer portal, you want to try to fill those needs you need quickly, and then look a little long term. Can you look long term in the portal? Can you do that? Maybe more so in basketball, but can you do that? Is that out the window now? You're just going to have to go best available? I mean, is this like the NFL draft? We're going to draft players, we'll recruit players, and let's put together a team? Is that the new? That the dynamic now? We're going to have to go out and just go put your team together every year. And if you can get a player to stay or two, even better, so you don't have to go fill that many holes. But that's the new dynamic now. But I think you get started, you're going to have to put together a team real quick. And with the transfer portal thankfully closing now, at least as far as players putting themselves in the transfer portal, we're going to find out more soon. Who's left? Who's out there? Are there some players out there that we haven't seen just yet that are in the portal that maybe are interested in Marshall? I mean, what's this roster going to look like? I mean, I read you what's on the roster now. Fricks, Braun, Thieneman, Nutter, Obina, Tyson Pruitt, Nate Martin. That's your current roster on herdzone.com. That's it. That's your roster right now. Add to it now both Cade and Jacob Gibbs. Add to it now Michael Dawson, and there'll be players to be named later. At least I think so. I don't think we're done here. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Back to the text line. Texter writes in and says, Marshall should have held out for more proven commodities at the Division I level. Thank you, Texter. Appreciate that. I'm kind of getting the feeling that you're happy that they're here, but at the same time, you think that maybe Marshall should have gone with something a little bit more flashy. You're thinking that maybe Marshall should have gone after players that are coming from higher level, more established programs, at least at the Division I rank. That's what I'm getting the vibe of right now. Am I wrong? Is there anyone out there that's excited about this? Let me know, 304-396-TALK. Texter writes in and says, incomplete right now. I'll give it a shot. Don't know much about Grace College in Indiana, but you can't argue with the success. Maybe they'll translate to the next level. Maybe it's a diamond in the rough. Maybe it's a project. Thanks, Texter. I appreciate that. You can text in as well. The season is going to, I think, determine a lot of things. I don't think this is going to be a long-term project with the speed of the transfer portal now and the way that college athletics is transforming. I think we're going to have to see a dynamic transformation here soon. I think the days of what it used to be, like 3 to 5 years, you give a coach 3 to 5 years to build the program. I don't think you give a coach 3 to 5 years now. I don't think you can. Because now the way the transfer portal has opened things up, you're expecting coaches to be able to go out, make changes, be aggressive, change the complete landscape and dynamic of the team within a season or two, and then maintain that. Now, if you're having success, you can stick around, you can maintain that and build on that. That's one thing. But as far as turnarounds, I don't think you get long now, especially with the transfer portal. And here's the challenge, though, for a program like Marshall. Can Marshall go out and make the home run hits? We talk about the transfer portal, how you can go out in the transfer portal and recruit and get what you need, come bring it back and be successful. But can you? Can you really do that? And the reason I ask that is because we haven't factored in, of course, name, image, and likeness. And that's going to determine a lot of this. You can go out and get a lot of players if you are able to recruit them. Well, how do you recruit them? Well, some kids start off with the name, image, and likeness conversation. What are my name, image, and likeness opportunities? I like to play for you, Coach. What are my name, image, and likeness opportunities? So maybe you have to go and take a chance on players that are from lower level programs but are performing at a higher level. And maybe you're going to have to take a chance on some of these players and hope that you found a diamond in the rough. We've got more to go, though, with this transfer portal. We'll find out. That's the best I can give you right now. Don't forget, we got baseball coming up this weekend on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Coming up tomorrow, it's going to be Marshall baseball. The Thundering Herd in action tonight against the Georgia State Panthers. We've got Game 2 coming up tomorrow, 2:50 airtime right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. The Herd in the midst of a 3-game set. Tonight, tomorrow, and, of course, Sunday, softball on the road. Losers yesterday 5-1 to Texas State. Looking to bounce back tonight, 7 o'clock, and then tomorrow, 1 p.m. Baseball action coming up next here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930, as it'll be the Pirates playing host to the Colorado Rockies. That is coming up with a 6:15 airtime right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. And, of course, no Pirates game tomorrow due to the Marshall baseball game. Pirates right now looking to get back on the winning side of the record. They're 14-18 right now. Got a good shot against Colorado coming in at 7-24. Of course, if you're not watching the baseball game tonight or listening to it, I think we're going to have a couple of good games tonight. The NBA, Cleveland and Orlando. Cleveland can clinch that series tonight. Clippers at Dallas. Dallas can clinch that series tonight. Hockey, you have a couple of potential game clinchers tonight. Vancouver can clinch at Nashville. Dallas can clinch at Vegas. And then Saturday, Game 7, all tied up. Winner goes on, loser goes home. Should be a fun one as the Maple Leafs taking on the Bruins. That should be a fun one. Original 6 hockey there. Game 7, playoff, original 6 hockey. Should be fun. You've got a lot to do this weekend, and, of course, we'll get back at it with you on Monday right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I hope you all have a great weekend. Again, don't forget, we got baseball coming up tomorrow. Herd in action, taking on Georgia State. We got it for you right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Good night, everyone.